Show. And here's the key man of Possum Lodge, because he's got all the answers and all the keys. My Uncle Red Green.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you, boy. You guys missed all the excitement this week down at the police station. The cops picked up Jimmy Gristle.
Jimmy Gristle, the bootlegger? Oh, good. I'm glad, because operating a still is illegal.
Nobody drank the stuff, Harold. We used it as windshield wiper fluid. Air would freeze before Jimmy's booze.
Well, I guess you're just going to have to go down to Humphrey's Everything store and buy it there.
At $2 a gallon? I don't think so, Harold. I'll drive with zero visibility before I'll do that. Anyway, if Jimmy can figure out how to make wiper wash, so can we.
Okay, you guys go right ahead and operate a still. You know, if you have any questions, you could always ask Jimmy.
Harold, I just told you Jimmy's in jail.
Oh, I know, but it's a small jail. With any luck at all, you'll be in the same cell.
On today's show, we have an awful lot of Harold, which I think is a regrettable mistake. But it's not that much worse than spending an afternoon with Hap. There's Harold again, creamed by corn. And there's Harold again, being a goof. Why? Well, we're almost on the verge of making our own moonshine. We've decided where to put the still, and now we can start gathering all the stuff together.
Oh, you're going to operate an illegal still, and you're going to risk burning down the lodge just to save $1 on washer fluid?
Harold, it's the principle, and it's $2. I refuse to pay Humphrey's prices. All right, how hard can it be to make wiper fluid anyway?
Well, isn't that something you said when you made your homemade beer and it blew up?
All right, but that was an accident, Harold.
Well, then there was the Hawaiian luau night.
What was wrong with that?
You dug the fire pit right over a gas line.
Well, that was a great fire pit. Well, that pig cooked fast, didn't it? I mean, before it exploded, I mean.
It rained bacon bits for 6 days. It was really fun.
Well, in keeping with our plan to make ourselves a still, that hurt. Anyway, Bill has got one of them above-ground swimming pools. We're going to use kind of a reservoir to supply the water for the still, and this is one of these cheaper models where you get everything in it. You know, you can have a pool installed. I think it's about $5,000, or you can buy one of these things for about $500. And then you take a while setting them up, and you finally realize how ugly they are, and then you throw them away and buy another $5,000 one. But at least there's the first step on it. Level the pool area. All right, well, leveling areas is kind of here's something. Look at this. This is something you may not be aware of, but you can actually, in many parts of the country, you can rent a Bobcat without any, prior experience. You don't need any kind of a special license with those. You can just go on up there, and as long as you have a working Visa card that belongs to you, or maybe perhaps someone that you found, and as long as you've got that, and they're covered, and there's some sort of a deposit on them, you can just go in there, and they're not that hard to operate. And you can have a good time, and it just gets the job done that much faster. And you'll find that by the time you're finished with the Bobcat and have all the equipment gathered together, you still have enough time to actually do the job that you were trying to do, but of course you'll get back to doing that with just shovels, something that you can handle. We'll be back later to show you how this whole thing turns out. Get real, Bill. This is more manly anyway, right? There are many speedy vessels like speedboats and ski boats and that. Even a tin boat with a 25 horse can get there in nothing flat. Sailboats tend to be slower whenever the summer wind stalls, but a canoe can really get moving when you accidentally take her over the falls. This week on Handyman Corner, I thought I'd show you how to build a machine that'll run on the booze from Jimmy Gristle's still. Now, what I have here is a lawnmower. Probably a lot of you guys are thinking, well, what kind of a machine could you make out of a lawnmower? Well, think about it for a minute. It's obvious, isn't it? A robot. Oh, yeah. I'm going to make me a hooch-powered android, a hoochinoid. You know, when I was a kid, I used to get the Popular Mechanics magazines, and they'd talk about how the robots in the future were going to clean our houses for us and fetch everything for us. So far, all they've done is stolen our jobs at the factories. But I'm going to build my very own C3PU or R2 Detox, something that'll do my every whim. Hey, I'm gonna need a whim. Oh, well, I got this woman's wig head here, so we're gonna make a woman robot. And you wanna paint her gold. Silver. Silver. You wanna paint her silver. Robots should always be silver. Just lay it on good and thick. There we go, and just set that aside. Let her dry. Now what you're gonna have to do is make a spine, which is a bunch of vertebrae or discs kind of attached together. Now for that, we could use hockey pucks and stack them up and then drill out the center for your spinal cord. Or you could use PVC pipe and make a plastic robot. I find the plastic hard to work with. Personally, I prefer the look and feel of wood. So I'm gonna build a wooden robot and have her lumber around. Lumber around. Always room for humor in the workshop. All right, now you wanna go and get the head and then see how big the spine should be, you know, in proportion to the... My golly. Okay, the lacquer is kind of eating the head away there, so we have a much smaller head. Not room for a very big brain in there, so we'll make it a guy robot. All right, so stack up your various little pieces of wood here. So it looks about in proportion. By golly, that looks human already. More than Moose Thompson does, anyway. All right, get yourself some nails and just start nailing one vertebrae to the next. It's just really that simple. Use a different kind of nail. That was the wrong kind of nail. This is the right kind of nail. See this kind of nail here? This is... All right, we'll get a different kind of nail. We have always have lots of kinds of nails around in your workshop. No, pointy end down. Another important. Yeah. All right, bigger nail. There's the problem. Huh? Another spinal injury. Wait, I got a better idea for something mechanical to bring me my drinks and get me stuff. Whoa. Okay. All right, whoa. Hand me the tray, Harold. Pour me a drink. You'll never replace a human. An important lesson coming up: where there's smoke, there's a fire extinguisher. I want to talk to all you guys who are sitting there unattached, the victims of maybe a divorce or a joint checking account. Now, you're probably thinking about looking up that old girlfriend you had way back in high school. You know, the one you took to the graduation sock hop? I know there might be some appeal in rushing back to the only other woman you ever had a slow dance with in your whole life. But I'm telling you, as a friend, you better think about a couple of things. All right, first and foremost, time has not been kind to you. Too much gravity and too much gravy have taken their toll. You don't look like you did on page 77 of the high school yearbook. Now zip over to her picture. Try adding 30 or 40 odd years to that. See where I'm coming from here? Start with a clean slate. Date a woman you didn't know when she was young, all right? That way you'll be attracted to her for what she is right now. And there won't be any nagging pictures from 30 years ago hanging around. She'll make sure of that. And it might be a nice gesture if you did the same for her. Remember, I'm pulling for you. We're all in this together. This is the last of the stuff from Jimmy Gristle's still. We salvaged all the stuff and we're pretty much ready to go. How are we doing at this end there, Doctor?
Well, I should remind you that I'm against this in principle. I'm just here for the chemistry.
Well, save your speech for the trial, Harold. I'm kidding you. I'm just kidding you.
Well, okay. Well, Buster's got everything going in the kitchen. He's got the main cauldron boiling, you know, and I found some sugar. All we need now is some corn for the mash.
Should be a couple of dozen cans of corn in the kitchen, but some of it's cream corn. Is that all right?
No, that should be fine. Yeah. As soon as Junior Singleton gets here with his mom's Lada, we're ready to start.
What are you going to use her car for?
Oh, see, we're going to park it right outside the kitchen window. Then we're going to run a hose from the kettle right to the engine block. That's going to process it for us. It's going to pump it, filter it, skim it, puree it, condense it, and then dispense it right out the hole of the rad. That's the theory.
It can do that?
Uncle Red, it's a Russian car. It can do anything.
Except start. Well, here we are with Hap Shaughnessy, and today we're going trolling for trout. Apparently, Hap got himself a real beauty last week.
Yeah, should have seen the one that got away.
Oh, come on now, Hap. Every fisherman says that.
But I said it first, Red.
Oh, really?
Oh, sure. I always had a flair for the one-liners. Make love, not war. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Have a nice day. Then there were all my poems. Mary Had a Little Lamb.
You come up with all that stuff yourself, you're saying, Hap?
But you knew that, didn't you?
No.
Yeah. I wrote book after book. Snappy sayings, quips, poems, phrases, my nursery rhymes, Little Jack Horner, London Bridge is Falling Down, Three Little Pigs, Jack and the Beanstalk, Little Jack Horner.
No, Hap. You already said Little Jack Horner.
Yeah, this was the sequel.
You know, Hap, I don't remember ever seeing any of those books.
Well, there's a reason for that. I never used my own name, Hap Shaughnessy. As you know, I'm not one to take a lot of credit for stuff.
No, of course, that would lead to legal action.
So I had to use a pen name. Unfortunately, the name I chose was Arnold Anonymous. Anonymous for short, so I didn't get any credits. And all those nursery rhymes and phrases and poems. I've been quoted more often than Shakespeare, but who'd believe it?
Oh, I can't think of anyone.
If I had a nickel for every time that I was quoted, I'd be a billionaire.
Well, you don't mind me saying so, Hap. If ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a great Christmas.
Well, there you go. Give me a nickel.